Welcome to Green Homes and Bacon, and in this week's episode, Lee's away on assignment, so I go it alone profiling an eco-lifestyle resort for the nanas and granddads. Well, the over 50s anyway. You know what I mean.
You're watching Green Homes and Bacon.
The Gumtree's eco-lifestyle resort for the over 50s is located in Greenbank, which is a small rural residential suburb of Logan City, which is about 40 kilometres south of the city of Brisbane. And it has taken what was an old caravan and camping ground and turned it into a seriously unique and boutique village-style resort for the over 50s, but with some exceptional eco-credentials and a park-like environment to match. Around 35 individual homes make up the original development, and with that sold out, the development of Stage 2 is now underway. In this episode, I'm going to introduce you to two of the resort's residents and take you through their homes. But first, I catch up with the resort's builder and developer to get an overview of the development and their vision. Darren, perhaps first with you as the developer, can you just tell us a little bit about the resort and what it is, what it contains?
We cater for the over 50s. Semi-retired, retired people that that want to live in an environmentally healthy environment, plus be cost-effective to their living.
Yep.
We create all our general practices and are economically eco-friendly.
Yes.
We have a lot of vegetation, wildlife. We have a lot of fruit trees, vegetable trees. All our building practices are environmentally healthy. And people benefit. They benefit from their electricity, where they don't pay much electricity. They benefit from the fruit and vegetables that we supply in the development. Plus, as developers, we've got to be conscious of the environment.
Do you find that the people that are coming here, is it predominantly because it is an over 50s resort, and that is one aspect of the relevance for them, or is it about very much the green, sustainable credentials that you've been able to put into the homes here? Is it a mixture, or are they predominantly coming here because they're with like-minded and age group people?
I think it's because it's green and sustainable. There are a lot of over 50 resorts, and a lot of our feedback is about our style, about how we treat our development, the practices we live by and we try and follow.
Ben, as the builder, have you always been involved in sustainable homes?
I haven't. I would say this would be the first type of homes that we've targeted where we're environmentally friendly with all our materials we use.
Yes.
We do predominantly use solar panels on all our roofs. They're an inclusion for our customers. Hence, it cuts down the cost for their power. We also promote growth in vegetables and herbs on their property to keep the cost down.
Is that a communal? Is that their own little veggie patch, or is it
That's
a communal?
correct, yeah. There is a communal veggie patch, but we also incorporate their own personal veggie patches and herb gardens.
Has your thinking changed, as you've been involved in the sustainable building and the sort of the design features they have in these properties, has it kind of changed your own thinking on?
It certainly has, because I would look at it as you see some of these developers and builders that they just utilise materials that generate a lot of carbon emissions. So we're trying to diversify against that. We're trying to get into a practice where we haven't got a massive footprint on the carbon environment and so forth.
Yes.
So that's what we try and promote with all our houses.
Do you find that are the people that are coming into the resort, are they greenies, or is it just that these sort of green, sustainable homes just make sense?
I would say a bit of both, actually, because the way we have incorporated our design principles within the homes favour a lot of our customers. Like, they come in and they see something different than what they're used to. With our design of the rake ceilings, we have 25-degree rake ceilings in all our homes. We position them on the block so that we promote airflow. So what we're trying to incorporate is houses that we don't have to utilise air conditioning units and so forth. So we cut down on carbon emissions. And that does favour a lot of our customers. Our customers do come in and they get quite favoured with the fact that their costs are going to be as low as possible.
Yeah. Darren, have you been involved in any sort of sustainable green development prior to coming into Gumtree's?
No, I haven't, no. But it makes sense. As a developer, I think we have an obligation to keep things as green and as economically, ecologically friendly as we can. We're not necessarily greenies. We're just general blokes that want to make a difference.
With that in mind, we head out to our first home to meet the delightful duet of Rob and Pauline. You guys don't look over 50, no?
True. How I wish.
All right, let's be serious for a minute. Why have you bought and own your property out here at the Lifestyle Resort?
Well, we had over 5 acres and we're enjoying that. Then we got into our head about travelling in a fifth wheeler.
Yeah. Oh yes, grey nomad.
Yeah, so we're looking for a place to come back to Brizzy here, and we come out here, to see if we could park it. It was a caravan park turning into an over 50s. When we got here, we saw and were told about the plans and just what we saw. Just really encouraged us to look deeper. Well, they showed us the plans.
Yes.
And we could see, the value, the community value, and the fact that we could have trees around.
Did you see the eco value?
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
Not initial. Well, I've always had gardens. I've always loved the veggies, and that side. So from that to say eco is not a big thing. I mean, trees to me is healthy, and so when I could see that this wasn't like a concrete jungle, then that attracted us.
Someone had said to you 10 years ago, we're going to live in an eco home. What would your concept been of an eco home then?
Well, for me, I guess I hadn't really thought much about it 10 years ago. And you see different things on television, and that's where I'd like to see perhaps more come in with TV, as to make people aware of what it's all about. But 10 years ago, no, I wouldn't have even thought of it, because I'm not. I wouldn't say that I'm a real greenie. I'm probably a lighter shade, but it's. I think the concept is wonderful.
Yeah.
And our house is just. It's just so cool in the summertime. We don't have air conditioning. We've just got the fans, and yeah. So, as I said, we wouldn't have thought about it 10 years ago, but now we love it.
Yeah, great. Rob, what would have your concept of a eco home been maybe a decade ago? And we get Rob's answer right after the break.
You're watching Green Homes and Bacon.
Is when I've heard of the greenies, etc., I was frightened of it in the past. It seemed too extreme and a bit wacky for me. But when you really look at the practical things, such as solar, and just a few little things like we have louver windows. Now, by the end of the day, the house just starts to heat up, say 4 o'clock. We can open the louvers, put the fans on, clear the house, and we've got a cool house, no air conditioning. Now that's a great advantage for us.
Well, I guess, without sounding disrespectful, as you at your growing stages of life, economy becomes important, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
And one of the good things I find is eco probably means economical as much as it means ecological. So saving money by having a well-designed home is really important. Good children had said to you 10 years ago, Dad, we're moving into an eco home. You were going, eco home?
I think, where do you start? What is it? And it wasn't until we saw the real value of the solar panels. I mean, straight away we have saved. Every month we're saving. No power bill. I mean, that's got to be a start. And when we say that firstly to our kids and then to friends who come here, that has encouraged people. Like my cousin, he's put solar panels on his house. Now that's a start. It's not necessarily the whole package, but it's a good beginning.
So since owning this home, have you come to reasonably understand the design principles in having your home quite environmentally friendly and sustainable?
I think we've learnt, and we did a lot of study prior to making that decision, you know. And when we studied the plans on that, such as the roof, the ceiling, for an example, is compressed straw. And that alone keeps the room pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's that, I mean, that alone. You take our west wall where the sun beams on it. Now, no windows, so you're not getting a hot bedroom. That wall, in the peak of the day, never warms up in the inside.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So you go to bed, you can open the doors there, straight out onto the patio. You've got a cool bedroom to go to without aircon, which is an advantage.
Yeah. What messages do you think would you like to see programs like this sending out?
I would encourage people to go that way, because it's just, as we said, with power alone, and particularly with the power prices just skyrocketing. In the summertime, we just don't have a power bill. We're in credit. So and then that rolls over to your next month, and then when you start using a little more, you've got that to spare. So
Yeah.
we just think it's wonderful.
By governments and by your programs, to start say at solar, to start at having your own water, catching the rainwater. Start with whatever size, even if it's a small size of a garden, little patch of greens, bit of silver beet and stuff, you know. Start small and let it grow, rather than look at the full package where it looks too daunting. See, trees cuts down heat, and straight away, you know, you're helping around your house and the environment and the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Just by trees.
Well, you've got
See,
more
we-
oxygen, it's healthier.
Yeah, we planted this one here, and it's only been there for 2 years, and that's how much it's grown. And so we just get all filtered sun onto our patio, which
Yeah.
enables us to be able to sit out there, which if we didn't have that, we wouldn't be able to.
Yeah.
So it's, yeah.
Do your children visit you here?
Yes.
Have they?
Can go down for a swim.
Yeah, it's a beautiful pool area, I've got to say. You must be looking forward to the second stage being developed, where they're going to have
Yeah.
bowls
That's right. Yeah.
and a community centre,
Gymnasium, which we're looking forward to.
Yeah, that'd be great. We'll call it a green home. Owning a green home. Do you have to be a greenie to own a green home?
No.
We
No,
weren't
I
greenies.
wouldn't call myself. I wouldn't call myself a greenie, even though I'll grow organic veggies. But I think it's a name that sometimes gets scary for some people, being in excess, and it can be very practical. And I think it's more encouraging people to come at that grassroots and look at the practical sides and let it grow in them.
With that in mind, we take a walk around their compact but forest-like garden, and Rob shows me his mini fish farming fetish. This is your hydroponic and fish setup?
Aquaponics.
Aquaponics. What's the difference?
Well, this is no chemicals. This is your filter.
Yes,
That's filled with shingle.
yes,
It's pumped up from your pond,
yes.
and that's being pumped permanently, round and round. It then comes down from the shingle, through the shingle. So all your food and everything from the fish is pumped up there. So that's the food for your plants. So they're eating and feeding purely organically, and so that's filtering your water. So you can see this water is now about 3 years old.
Wow.
It's clear, you could almost drink that, it's so clear. And a bit of evaporation, that's about all our problem. And so that's going down and then going back up mechanically so that air can get through the shingle. And then it just pours down into the fish and just keeps on in a cycle.
When you got,
So-
you've got what, hundreds, if not thousands of
Oh
fish
yeah,
in there?
there is, yep.
And what other than...
Ultimately, my plan is to have, say, perch, so it'll be an eating
Yeah.
project.
So do you sell these? I mean, these in any way commercial for you, or do they just? It's just
It's a pure, retirement little hobby.
Yeah.
And I do sell them now and again, just for those who want them. And I'm developing a course at the moment. These are called white clouds, and I'm developing golden clouds fish with long tails. So what you see in shops are just little cheapy short tail ones.
Yeah.
And these will be way better.
Wow.
So I've got my first lot at the moment, in another year, and I'll be able to sell them.
Well,
And they're beautiful. You put a bunch of mozzie larvae in there, for an example, and in, say, a day, 50 mozzie larvae will be gone.
yeah.
They're just marvellous.
So you're obviously pretty keen on this. Do you?
Well, see, people could put them in their little ponds and things.
Yeah.
And they're another different thing from just plain goldfish.
Yeah.
And they're better than goldfish for eating larvae. So it's a good idea. And as you can see, I have, you know, herbs, whatever I want, chives. I put in a lot of silver beet,
Yep.
lettuce, and they can grow all year round. So it'll develop a bit bigger as we go along. But yeah, we're very pleased with
Oh,
it.
good on you. Do you know all their names?
You couldn't. I don't know how.
So, in summing up, Rob and Pauline's home may be a compact 2-bedroom style villa, but it has everything they need to live comfortably, economically, healthy and happy. And after the break, we trek a little further down the road to talk with our second couple, Tom and Doreen, and check out their home.
You're watching Green Homes and Bacon.
Our second homeowner couple tonight are Tom and Doreen, and their green home at the resort is in the prime position next to the pool complex. Or is it a prime position? Let's find out.
Lovely spot you've got here. This has got to be one of the prime ones in the development. You got the pool behind us there.
We classed it as the prime spot.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
And so firstly, tell me, how did you come to being here? You've been here for 12 months, or
Yes.
just coming up to 12 months. How did that evolve?
Well, it all started with a trip to Bundaberg, and
Was that alcohol related?
No, we didn't. We didn't borrow about the rum. I'm not a rum drinker, but we were stationed up there in the caravan park, and Doreen found a magazine in the office that related to gum trees, and we hadn't seen it before, and we thought we'd come and investigate after probably looking at maybe a dozen other spots around, not this area, but all around.
And were they like an over 50s?
All over 50s, yes. We elected not to go retirement villages because the extra cost of entry and exit fees and other little things that we found just going round, and we've got friends in places at Victoria Point and where we originally came from, actually, and we just found that it was a better concept. And of course, as I said, being eco-friendly was a bonus. It was just, it fell into our hands.
It wasn't your driving motivation?
No.
No, not really. Not to begin with. But who would live anywhere else? I mean, it's perfect. It's all the trees around. We love the country, and so we really are happy. It's just so relaxing.
Okay, so being a green, environmentally friendly home wasn't their prime motivation. But has it changed their minds, and does it really save them money?
Well, yes, it does. And the further we go into it, the longer we live here, I should say, the more we realise the benefits and the savings that we're accomplishing from living in an eco-type village. I mean, beautiful.
Well, the electricity is, our last month account we're in credit.
You know.
So when you came here, did it take long before you were sold on the complex?
No, actually we decided fairly quickly.
Yes, I put a deposit down, and then we had the choice of plots, because nowhere near as many houses here then. Surprising how many houses have been built since.
Yeah, so in the last 12 months, a lot of this development has taken off.
Yes, it's doubled. It must be doubled.
It has, yeah.
In size.
How important was the green, sustainable aspect to what you were doing with the home, or the requirements of the home?
Yes, it sort of didn't really come to the fore at any stage. Each concept of the house as it was being built, the insulation was there that we wanted, in both reflective insulation and bulk insulation, and I mean, it's all around us in every wall and the roof and the floor, and that was what we wanted, but that sort of came without any prompting from the builders or the developers at any stage. They just sort of did everything that we were sort of planning, wasn't it?
Obviously that fitted into the broader concept of being an eco resort, which means that there are certain principles that go into the design and the construction of your home that meet those criteria. And I mean, if you go back a decade or so ago and someone had said, I'm buying an eco home or I'm living in a sustainable home, what would that have conjured up in your mind then? It would be something quite alternative or
I think
weird.
That's probably the word, alternative.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because as soon as, some time back, if anybody mentioned a green home or you immediately think of a greenie living out in the bush under a dirt slab sort of thing.
Yeah.
Precisely.
And that was the concept that was around in those days. The wheels turned and the whole concept has changed as far as building a greenhouse.
And you're normal people, I take it?
We are.
Normal people.
And so you don't. So do you have to be a greenie to own a green home?
No,
Oh.
no.
It's
I mean,
just
any-
common sense as far as I'm concerned now
Precisely.
to have the solar electricity and solar hot water. We did have solar hot water in the homes we'd had before
Yes.
here, and that was a great saving. But here we've got solar electricity as well. And well, I mean, as I say,
Why wouldn't you?
it's our account is nil, and some of the people are only singles in here. They're weighing credit.
Yes.
And we have our own water.
Yeah, you collect. Obviously,
We
you've got
take
two
water.
very large tanks here.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So
That's a bonus as far as I'm concerned because
Yeah.
they were original tanks from the caravan park
yes.
for the swimming pool and everything concerned with the garden, etc. And when we built here, they said to me, which tank do you want? And I said, well, I'd like both of them. So they said, yeah, well, we won't take one away. And I said, yeah, good, lovely. So since then we've connected the two together, so any overflow of one comes into the other, and we've since connected the two of them up to the house, so we've got ample water.
Should we be developing more eco-friendly communities like this?
Definitely,
I think so.
definitely. That's got to be the future. As far as over 50s, and more over 50s villages rather than retirement villages.
And on that note, we leave the discussion there as we take a closer look at their home. Tom and Doreen's home is a modest 2-bedroom bungalow. It's nestled idyllically between the swimming pool enclosure with its own nature surrounds and the resort's forest boundary. Now, the home itself is not a shining example of modern green design utilising sustainable construction materials. But internally, the design does provide for good crossflow ventilation using cathedral ceilings to draw the warm air up, which is then drawn out through 2 extraction vents located at either end of the home. Importantly though, the house is fully insulated, employs solar power and hot water, and collects its own water. And there is good protection from allowing the hot summer sun from entering the home, which overall provides this cute caravanning couple a happy, healthy, economical and clean green home to enjoy their retirement years. Good on you, Gumtrees. Well, that's it for tonight's episode. Thank you for joining us. Special thanks go out to the Gumtrees Eco Lifestyle Resort for the over 50s, and in particular Tom and Doreen, Rob and Pauline, developer Darren and builder Ben, and also the Logan City Council who have helped make this segment possible.
And for any more information on tonight's program, head to our website www.greenhomesandbacon.com.au or head to our Facebook page and be sure to like us and share your comments.
So tune in next week as I profile another amazing home out at Noosaville. See you later.
Bye bye.